Thank you for joining us this morning. Hello, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well done.
Thank you.
You guys are wearing the same cap.
It's not the same cap. No two things are the same. The colors of our cap is just the same.
Okay.
So, it's the color. I mean, you are seeing the two caps saying they are the same. They are the same.
Now you come.
Right. So let's get into it. SDP, categorically speaking through one of their state chairmen actually from Ebonyi State, that 2027 is not going to be between PDP, APC, and all that like we know. That is going to be between APC and Nigerians. And Nigerians have found a formidable, organized party that has records of having won the fairest election or the most free election, in Nigeria, to be the party that they will hook up to. That party is SDP. And it happens to be the oldest party in Nigeria. He spoke with so much confidence, even when asked many questions about their preparedness and all that and what they are doing now. He said they are not into the cosmetic jamborees of the APC, holding parties of endorsement here and there from one state to the other, simply because they have the public resources to throw about. But that is not what SDP is doing. That people at the grassroots level are fully connected with SDP. Let me start from you briefly, Peter, on the statement of Ebonyi State chairman of SDP.
Yeah, he's not far from the truth, because this present government has made it easier for opposition to have a voice. How do I mean? They failed on their mandate repeatedly. They show Nigerians why they shouldn't come back. As you said, re-election is different from election. In re-election, you come to show your scorecards. Who appraise you based on what you've done. Now, no longer campaign promises you've had for years. What have you done with this 4 years? You come and give account to Nigerian people. And democracy, as I say, is coming up by the people for the people. And if it truly what it is in Nigeria, Nigeria, our own things are different from what it ought to be. If the system works, people will decide. And a hungry man will not vote that person and put him into perpetual hunger. A man that had his business closed down, we don't want to re-elect that person that made my business to shut down.
All right. It's unfortunate that at this time you are even thinking a party is prepared or not prepared for election. Just 2 years into this tenure. It's unfortunate. What is it that has befallen Nigerians? By now, we should be talking about this government delivering, facing governors, what they are doing or what they are not doing. But it's a very unfortunate. What you hear now is about re-election, election, and all that. This man gave a categorical example, drawing from the establishment of Olam Farms at Kaduna by Nasir El-Rufai that generated over 10,000 employment, both directly and indirectly. That this government are focused on cosmetic operations. For example, we see Wike spent 39 billion naira to renovate, not even build, renovate a conference center in a nation where unemployment is growing by the day. This man gave example that what El-Rufai did with Olam Farms, for example, you just pick that one, generated employment as well as a judicious use of the public resource. He's saying what Umahi did, when you build a flyover, what employment does it add to the people? It's not wrong, but knowing how to stratify things you are doing to ensure that the people you are leading are also led and they can feel it in their skin. Particularly when subsidy was removed, Naira floated, a lot of things left for the people to attend to by themselves. You should do what also affects the people. He's categorical that Nigerians will not go with this government, that they are very cosmetic. Philip, do you believe that?
You see, I had to commend the SDP state chairman of Ebonyi State for being very bold, frank, and on point. And I also had to commend the national chairman of the SDP, the person of Alhaji Shehu Gamba Musa, who has laid down a formidable structure, working tirelessly day and night, advocating and reaching out to the grassroots to mobilize Nigeria for the future of this country. What the Ebonyi State Chairman, SDP State Chairman said is very correct. He said what we have today in Nigeria is cosmetic governance, that there's no hardcore governance, that the only hardcore governor we have seen, he mentioned, El-Rufai. So I will add to it, he failed to mention Peter Obi when he was governor of, Abia State, Anambra State.
Yeah, if you remember the beer, they were laughing him about. The beer is still one of the highest employers.
And revenue generating agency of the Anambra State government.
Yes.
So what the man is saying is this, that look, government passes, government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And he also said that we are celebrating democracy today, that we forget to realize that this democracy was celebrated today, the June 12th, because he was asked a question concerning June 12th. He said the June 12th come about from SDP, that election that now become June 12th was won under the platform of SDP by Abiola, that the most credible, the most fair, and the most acceptable election in Nigeria. That SDP is, Gabon is working tirelessly with his team to restore SDP, because SDP was the only political party who had contested for election, and the people wholeheartedly accepted the party across board, across religious line, ethnic line, and all of that. He said the SDP is very strategic. They are not noisemaker.
Right.
Because he said, because in 2015, same thing happened, that Nigeria doesn't, they are not students of history. That when the coalition was starting in 2020, they said El-Rufai told them that when they started in 2015, they said they can't go anywhere because the government, the power, had the resources, they had INEC, they had the police.
Over 22 governors endorsed the president.
But they went underground. And they work, say by 6 months to the election, they already know that they are winning the election. That SDP is doing exactly the same thing today. That they are not making, they've gone underground, that they are advocating, and they are mobilizing the masses, telling them the truth, what they need to do. In fact, they say their job is very easy because the people already know the truth. Yeah. What they are looking for is an alternative, and SDP is providing that alternative.
All right, let me come to you, Peter. This SDP chairman, Mr. Edward Nachi, that's what his name goes by. He was speaking essentially for almost all the people in SDP, the way they believe and the way they think today. That the government of today do not have sufficient performance to even make the election difficult. Can we go make a little search, even though it's putting APC versus APC, that is putting Siwaju government versus Buhari's government. Can we make a search of kind of some performance, some improvement, the area you think Siwaju government has really improved or has done something slightly before we begin to think of if it is high enough to help them during the re-election of Siwaju?
For truth, that would be a hard question because I have critically looked at this APC government. I have not seen any major change. After all, our present government promised us that she will continue from where Buhari stopped. But when he actually...
Insecurity, you don't think there is any...
No, the first 1 year, we felt that we have improvement in security. Things were a little bit quieter, and we felt that there is a change. When he removed the fuel subsidy, which he campaigned he was going to do, we felt that the money will be plowed back into the system. We'll see a change. We'll see our industry come alive. We'll see our agriculture sector becoming more productive. We expect much. When you floated in Naira,
but they are also touting things like Fitch rating being improved, our foreign reserve being improved.
I'm coming. So all those ones are, for me, it's paper-based analysis. We live here, we'll see what happens. So when they floated Naira, we felt they had a plan. The caution effect. But he has shown that this present government had no plan. They didn't have plan B of what they are doing. When the effects came, there was nothing to cushion it. There was nothing to mitigate it. And now they come to tell us that our foreign reserve has grown. They reduced the money we're owing. No, they didn't. They don't change the narrative. Change our debt into bond that will still pay. So they live more on propaganda and lies. See, Nigerians were saying truth.
Okay, but if you look at people jumping ship, because Edward was also asked if he could jump ship, though he made it clear that he stands for real governance where people's life has to improve. not just where you do a project with another motive. That certainly he is in a place, SDP, where they take good governance very serious. That is not going to join APC for any reason. But they talked about people moving from PDP and even Labour Party into APC. All of them are citing on consolidation of Asiwaju's performance. You can't make a search and see where you think this government, because for now, President is visiting Benue. Buhari never visited. He never made a clear call like this. He never, made even this marching order that they normally give, which they hardly match. But he's visiting Benue at least. Though people are calling him now after visiting Benue, P2B in particular asked him that after visiting Benue, you should also visit Niger and Mokwa area.
What are people moving? It boils down to what I have interested. You see, there's a state capture, and he has weaponized our institutions. So every politician, first thing that comes to their mind is self-survival, to remain in the system. And they look at it broadly. The only way I can be guaranteed, if a governor re-election, is to move to APC. See what happened in those states. So nobody wants to go through that. It's not that this government is doing well. The indices shows they are not performing. There is no reason for you to judge somebody that is not performing, except for self-survival.
Yeah.
And gains that comes with the personal gains that come with this.
Okay. Don't know what we are discussing today. Is in the news already everywhere that Wike and federal government, they are building INEC headquarters. People are saying, we want to build INEC. The rules and regulations should change. We want to build a facility that should make it compulsory for the electronic transmission of results to take place. Edward Nachi also cited the demons we have in our democracy when asked if our democracy has failed. Because the government of the people, by the people and for the people, it should stand for a situation where people are at minimum able to elect their leader. That is why it is of the people. Apart from serving them, the people leading them must be elected by the people. He cited us having INEC and incumbent judiciary ahead of us. Do we have a way? Before you boast that SDP is going to, sweep it, is going to be the vehicle that Nigerians are going to stand on to campaign and probably vote against APC, you should be sure that these encumbrances will be dealt with. It's a stumbling block. INEC that we have today, the judiciary that we have today, even the KKREP, the Chief Justice of the Federation, also promised us that we're going to have a different judiciary. For her to say that, it means there is a recognition that what we have is not right. How do we handle? Where is the guarantee that before 2027 election, the INEC, apart from building a more palatial office structure for them, that the rules of the game, the ground rules, are right, that people can trust?
You see, Wike is known for, I think Wike is one of the serious weapons in the hand of government on the state capture. Because sometimes we also hear that Wike is building houses for the judges in Abuja. What that tells you? Well, though there's this saying that he who pays the price dictates the tones of the music. Now Wike has stepped beyond building houses for judges. He's now building offices for INEC, or he's building office headquarters for INEC, and maybe perhaps the INEC national chairman and the federal commissioners. What that tells you? If we can build offices for the INEC chairman and the INEC and the residential quarters for the INEC commissioners and national chairman, and furnish it for them, what it means that the INEC will have soft spot for him, just like somebody has said on this table that Wike is a professional litigant. He knows how to do his case, and you can't beat him in that game. That's
what I think, in a way, because he has been winning all his cases.
Yeah, so he's taking a step further for the government to include INEC in his scheme of things. So what I think, the encumbrances is there, but when the people are willing and they are ready to go ahead, no matter how much roadblock you put in place, it will be eroded. Come 2027, It is not what the government is thinking. That is why the Edward Nashi, the SDP chairman of ABOY, said that in 2015, this kind of thing happens. The PDP government was everywhere. They are in control of everything. The money, the police, the INEC were with them. But here the people push them away. When the people are ready and they are willing to take their destiny in their hand, no matter what roadblock you put there, it will be eroded. Let Wike go ahead and build office.
For me, it's a misplacement of priority.
Yeah, because it's our resources and we are borrowing some of this money.
People are hungry. See, we have vast land in Abuja. Invest in agriculture.
Yes, but
put it in where
we are borrowing some of this money and Nigerians are going to pay.
This is a captured state. And they need to retain their offices. If they establish businesses for you to do, for you to be comfortable, you are no longer captured. If you can feed for yourself, you can provide for yourself and your family. How are you captured? But when you are hungry, the idea is to make the people to be, you say they've weaponized poverty, to people to be perpetually hungry, so that when the government, they can be at the whip and cattle of the government. Whenever they push them, they will go that direction. So they will not spend the resources where the resources is meant to be spent. Rather, they will spend the resources to ensure that they retain themselves in power. And that is why they had to capture these vital agencies to be on their side.
Following the people's awareness about what cosmetic performance is. For example, the money you use to put into a project that will stimulate employment, you would rather do one with pedestrian flyover that will serve just no real purpose, compare with other priorities you have. There's nothing wrong in all those. It's about knowing what your people are facing. There is a gross unemployment. Our youths, they don't have what to do. A lot of employers are struggling to engage these youth, small and medium enterprises, trying to engage them in one or two things. And at the end of the day, even the government are also not putting all those infrastructure that will have small businesses. I heard in the news just a while ago that they are approving over 1.something trillion that was disbursed through NASDAQ for small agribusiness and all that. That up to 24 institutions, carried out the disbursement, but they are yet to get reports for even more than 11 or thereabouts. So you begin to see this mismanagement of things that should help unemployment. But they are very, they are comfortable spending 39 billion naira to renovate a conference center that people might choose not to use. They have alternative. While you were renovating that, they were using something else. They could continue to use all those if it becomes cheaper for them. How do we steer ourselves away from this cosmetic performance? Like I said, I prefer this government to perform now than for them to continue to toe this line and say, let's remove them by 2027. I have no problem with Asuwaju winning, his re-election. I mean, it pays us even better if they perform very well now, because they have known the problem there now. They have first-hand experience. They're under the spotlight. So continuation shouldn't be a problem if they do the right thing. But if they are not there, the people will react. How do we push this cosmetic performance?
It has to come from the president himself. You need to look at some of these things and speak up. You should forget about these circumstances. See, the 39 billion spent on International Conference Center, how would it repay itself? What is called benefits of this project? Have we done the analysis? How many people is going to use that project for the next 10 years? If this money has been invested in agriculture and security or poverty alleviation, you will see it. This thing cannot change until the president steps in and talk, because he is the one that appointed these people.
All right.
So
I think
we from here cannot change it.
Time is against us. I just hope they don't have a free giveaway to SDP at the end of the day, like Edward Unachi said, that at 2027 is going to be between APC and Nigeria, particularly when those that won election in PDP and LP are now moving into APC, making it easier for Nigerians to find a fresh platform. And like he said, SDP, the oldest party in Nigeria that won the fairest election ever, is there for them. Let's hope INEC is rejected, but in structure, physical structure, and in their operational metrics, and also that judiciary, they won't be the one to
Just before
determine who is the election.
Just before you conclude, INEC and judiciary, if they like, they rejig or they don't rejig. What is important? The people should wake up and take their destiny in their hands and go all out to ensure that their vote counts. That way, the person they cast their vote for, the person they choose from their choice, will lead them, not INEC or judiciary that will choose for them.
That's right. INEC and judiciary, INEC shouldn't have the prerogative of who wins election. It's the vote of the people. And certainly it gets worse when 3 judges, 5 judges determine who the president and the governor should be. It's insane. It shouldn't be happening. The people should reject that. All right. This is still News Insight. We'll be right back very shortly.